ready to roll with his
Ready to roll.
device.
Practice. Let's go.
Did that affect him at all? I mean, I guess you might not have to worry about a holding penalty, but having that glove on the hand, will that how much of a
I mean, obviously, you like to have all your fingers to use when you need them, but we'll see. Obviously, you got to keep your hands inside. That's the rule. You're not supposed to grab and tug and pull. That's called holding. The last time I checked. So, hopefully maybe this will help us eliminate some calls.
Hugh, as a follow-up to yesterday, what exactly are you and Deshaun and Coach Lee doing at 5:02 a.m.?
We're not eating breakfast, that's for sure. And we're not just looking at each other. We're doing some work. So I'm going to keep that between us three. But there's a lot of good things that we do to prepare for a football game.
Did you see Tony Jefferson making an impact in his first game before going to Baltimore?
Did I see him making one? Yeah, no, he's a good player. I mean, he's a fine football player.
I know you guys were trying to get him as a free agent. The fact that you didn't, but then were able to get the drill in the draft, do you think it could have gone a different way if you wind up with a 15
I think, Tony plays in Baltimore. We have Jabril Peppers. We're very happy with our safety, so I don't, that doesn't matter.
You're talking to a young quarterback about getting the ball out of his hand quicker, and yet you're facing a defense that just picked off Andy Dalton 4 times. How do you reconcile, those two things?
Don't give it to him. Just don't throw him the ball. He's obviously, they did a good job last week of being in lanes, tipping balls. I mean, they got interceptions in a variety of different ways. So they have good players, and we respect that. But, again, our job is to throw the ball to our open guy, and then our guys got to catch it and make those plays. So he's just got to go back there and go through his progression and play football.
We're on the subject of interceptions. You mentioned Mosley yesterday playing as well as you've seen him. What makes him so good at getting so many picks at that position? A position that you don't normally see a high number.
Right. I think he's very instinctive, and I think he has tremendous ball skills. He has good length. He's long. He can run, and I think he can cover. So he has all the skills needed to play the position on top of being a physical player. So he's a playmaker for their defensive football team. They have a lot of those as you look throughout their defense.
It appeared that Sean Coleman stuck out a lot, which I would think would be a decent sign. How did he grade out for you guys in his start over on right tackle?
He did some good things. Like you say, he didn't stick out in a bad way. I think he did some things good and did some things better, but we all got to keep improving up there, as a line. I just think they got to play together as a unit, week in and week out, just the communication and how to do things, when they're working together. I think that will get better as we go through this year.
Did you send that Brown catch, non-catch into the NFL for review, and if so, did they give you any insight into?
Can't speak on that.
It's a little off the topic, but the Canadian League yesterday banned all padded practices. I'm just wondering how important you think those are to a team, and are you okay with the limits that you have to work under?
We all have the same rules, so, I got to be okay with it. But I think you have to put on pads at some point just to keep the fundamentals sharp and just to keep your players sharp that way. We do it, and we try to do it within respect of their bodies and making sure that we take care of them that way. But this is football, and you play football with pads on. So I think there has to be some pads on that players wear.
What were the keys to your run defense being so effective?
I just think we played in our gaps. We played our responsibilities. I think guys, we beat them to the punch every now and then, and we tackled well. And I think that's the keys to playing good defensive football.
Terrence West, the way they had him going.
Oh, he's running well. Him and the kid from USC, they had big games last week. Those guys rushed for over 150-something yards. So their offensive line, that's where it starts. I mean, Marshall Yonda, go check that guy out, and Stanley and the rest of those guys. They're playing well. They're playing physical. They get after you. And the backs run hard, run tough, and they run through tackles. So, I mean, they're a good, strong, physical football team.
You've been coaching with Greg now since January. Has that sort of lived up to what you expected? Anything that's taken you by surprise?
No, he's outstanding. He's I mean, that's why we brought him here. Greg is very good at what he does. He knows how to get the best out of his players. He knows how to motivate. you know, and guys follow, you know, normally guys who do that extremely well. And he's done a good job of that. And, you know, our biggest thing is we kind of play off each other. This is a football team, offensively, defensively, and along with Coach Tabor, special teams. You know, we're trying to become a good football team, and that's all we're chasing.
Can you say who your number 2 quarterback is?
Not today. It's too early, Tony. Come on. Give me one more day. I don't speak to you guys tomorrow, right? Bam.
Can you just say how Kessler's been handling?
Kessler's been outstanding. No, he's been great for Deshaun. You know, when I'm up here late at night, the guy that's with Deshaun still is Cody. Cody's been through this, so Cody's been a real good mentor per se for Deshaun. He's been great in practice. He's always egging Deshaun on to get the offense going, to get the rhythm going, get the fire going, and he's done a great job. He's been a pro about it. You know, as I said, I think Cody knows his day's coming at some point. He's not concerned about that. I think in respect to the decision we made, he understands, and and I think that's what being a good pro in the National Football League is. Now, me saying that, does he want to play? Oh, yes. Is he competitive? Does he want to be out there? No question he does. But I think he gets the role that he's in right now.
And do you put any credence into a experienced player mentoring your quarterback? I know coaches like to say, well, I'll do that. But
I think there's something to that, Tony, but I also think is, you know, like I said, when this all started, I think if I'm worth the darn and if Coach Lee is, then we got to kind of breed some experience into this player. You know, there's no question when he leaves us, you know, there's got to be another piece of it. And I think that's where the mentoring piece that you're mentioning with a veteran quarterback or a guy that's played in your system comes in, you know. Is there something to that? Yes, I think there is. But the big, hard, heavy work goes on in this building and on the practice field. And there is another side of it once he leaves here, because you just don't want to lose what you've done all day. You know, you don't want to lose that at nighttime. You don't want to lose that before the next morning. And I think Cody and Kevin both have done a good job that way of representing who that veteran quarterback would have been, because I think they've seen what we've gone through here and what we're trying to accomplish, and they're able to impart that to Deshaun.
Point of your personal history, everybody knows that. Everybody knows you coached Flacco for those. I think it was 2 years. But anyway, at that point, you were quarterbacks coach, obviously. But does your history go back to you always considered yourselves to be kind of a quarterbacks guy, even when you were coaching running backs or wide receivers or other positions?
No, I think my thing in my career has always been whatever position I coached, you know, and I thought you had to be the best coach at that position while still learning how to do other things, you know, and I just was fortunate enough that somebody gave me a chance to coach quarterbacks at a young time in my career and call plays, and that elevated me. And then you start to understand in this league, in order for your offense to play, in order to have a good offense, you have a good quarterback. So then I start to go down that path, you know, and John Harbaugh is the guy, and I say it all the time, who really jump-started my career and kind of pushed me over the top by allowing me to coach his quarterback for those 2 years. And so from there, then my career took off.